Hey, what's going on, guys? Back again with another tutorial. This is something I've been looking forward to making for well over a year now, and I'm finally very happy to show y'all the finished product. In this video, I'm going to be showing y'all a step-by-step tutorial on how to install the Nismo Juke RS Recaro seats into the 370Z. As you guys can tell, I do have the seats fully in the car right now. They are just like OEM. I've already transferred over the wiring harness for both the driver and passenger seat belt. So those are just like OEM as well. I've reused all 4 original bolt holes that hold the OEM seats in on both sides. So these are just as secure as the original seats. So in order to do this installation, there's going to be a couple of things that you will need to buy and a couple of things that are optional. One of the things you will need to buy is a seat bracket of your choosing. I went with Wedge Brackets. This secures the Recaro base frame to the car itself. The other thing you'll need to buy is a 12-point triple square bit socket. This will release these 2 bolts on both sides from the upper portion of the Recaro seat and the bottom portion, as well as a 7/16 threaded nut, which is the silver nut down there that you can see. That's what secures the seat belt to, in my instance, the wedge brackets. As I mentioned, there are some optional things to purchase. One of those would be the option for sliders on your bracket. I let people drive this car every now and then, so I decided to get this just to make it a bit easier. The second optional item is the Recaro base frame. This is optional. I say that because technically you can cut this out of the Juke frames if you still have those. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, which I did not, you will buy this. I'll have that linked in the description as well. As you can see in this video, it is possible to reuse the black OEM Juke plastic to hide the hardware. If I decide to make a tutorial on that, I'll have that linked in the description. One quick thing I want to clarify before I get into the step-by-step tutorial is that in the following clips you're about to see, essentially you're watching me as I figure everything out. I hadn't already finished the passenger side and then recorded the tutorial for how to do the driver's side. I was kind of going in blind for most of the clips I recorded. I ended up doing most everything right on the first try, so my clips will still make sense, but I just wanted to give a bit of clarification in case it seems like I really don't know what I'm doing during the installation video. But by the end of this, you shouldn't have any questions, but if you do, feel free to reach out to me through Instagram. My Instagram is @rednismo. I'll be more than happy to help. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is going to be another part to the conversion video or process to put the Nismo Juke RS seats in a Nissan 370Z. I just received these brackets from Wedge Brackets. I will go ahead and put a link to those in the description. And I'm going to be unboxing this at the moment and then bolting them up to the Recaro Sportster CS seat frames. I just received these bolts at the top, and like I said, I'm going to go ahead and take these out and test fit everything. All right, guys, so at the moment, I know this looks like a bit of a mess. What I've attempted to do is this right here is the driver's side wedge bracket and passenger side, of course. And when I try and test fit the Recaro base frame, I'm running into an issue, which is that I don't have the hardware to secure it into these holes so that it doesn't move around. That's where I believe it needs to be secured. And the only bolts I have that fit are these ones, which are hex bits, but these, I only have enough. These are what screw into this Recaro bracket that screw into the bottoms of the seats. So I can't use any extra of these. And so right now, what I'm gonna do is I went and got the original Juke frames, both driver and passenger, I don't remember which is which, and the original Juke sliders. And I'm gonna try and, I guess, reverse engineer and see if there's any bolts I can remove that will allow me to bolt up the Recaro base frame to the new Wedge sliders. And Wedge sent me these 12 Allen key or Allen bolts, but I've gone throughout this whole thing and I cannot figure out where they're supposed to go. Like, there's nowhere that they fit in. This hole is too big. It's kind of like the smallest hole I can see on here, so I don't really know what those are used for or if they were sent accidentally. My only guess is that they would go into that hole right there if you unscrew that to take out the slider, but I really don't know. So like I said, I'm gonna start disassembling everything and figuring out what to do from there. Hey guys, so a follow-up to the last clip. Like I said, the wedge bracket nuts don't fit in here. There's nowhere to attach them, and I don't have any extra bolts. Well, at least I don't have any on me. It's possible I lost them around a year ago when I was disassembling the seats. But what I decided to do is this is either the driver or passenger side. I don't quite remember, but I noticed there's 1, 2, 3, 4 more hex bolts, and of course mirrored on the other side. And if I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to attach these, I should try using those. So what I did is I put brake cleaner right on the edges of them, and with that they loosened up, and I just test fitted it, and it does fit into this bracket. I am probably going to need an aftermarket like nut on the bottom, because the threads in this one are actually built into the seat frame itself. So I'll need something to essentially hold that together, but I'm going to continue releasing these and then clean them up with brake cleaner to remove the Loctite, and then we'll go from there. But these bolts are the exact same length as the red and green Loctite ones that are removed from the seat cushion. I'm not sure if I'll include those bolts in this video, but if not, I'll have them linked in the description. Okay guys, so another update on what I've been doing. Like I said, I have removed a lot of the bolts, the 6mm bolts from the Recaro base frame, which is right here. I stripped 2 of those, so there should be 8 of these long bolts and 8 of these smaller bolts. I have 8 small ones, but I only have 6 long ones, because like I said, those 2 are both stripped. I can't use those. And so what I've done is to attach the Recaro base frame to the wedge bracket slider. I've been feeding, like I said, I can only use 3 long bolts on each like frame setup. So I have a long one here, here, and here, and I have a short bolt right here, because if you see in there, this is with the slider brought all the way forward, forward, to give myself as much room in there as possible. There's really still basically no room for a tool. Like, that's my finger. I can barely even twist this in there. So this was the hardest bolt to get threaded into that little opening right there. But the rest of these, what I'm going to do is use some of the leftover nuts that I have and thread these on. I think these might be 14mm, and thread these on, as well as hold the long bolt in place with a 6mm Allen key. I'm going to slide this back so that I can put the hex key in underneath, and then these will be good to go. Okay guys, quick change of scenery. I brought the seats downstairs. Well, removed the Nismo seat, the V1 Nismo seat, and brought the Recaro downstairs to test fit it. I have the seats covered because of you. She's got claws, so I don't want them to mess them up. But what you're gonna need to do next is unscrew this, because you're gonna transfer over the seat belt to the new seat. This is just a Phillips head. Unscrew that, and then continue popping these plastic pieces out, and then you'll remove this bolt with a 14mm nut, and then you're gonna follow the wire down to basically all its attachment points, and you can either cut those plastic pieces, or what you can do is use a like popper thing to pinch the clip and release it, and then you'll transfer this over. So once you have the wiring harness for the seatbelt removed from the OEM V1 seat, you're going to grab the 7/16 nut that I mentioned earlier, which you'll use to screw on and attach the seatbelt to the new Wedge Brackets frame. And shout out to Certified VHRs on YouTube for that tip. I'll go ahead and link his installation video below for putting those seats in a G37. And there we are. Just like that, you have got yourself a pair of Nismo Juke Recaros in your 370Z. I don't have the best lighting in here, and honestly, they don't really look that great on camera, but it really does pop in person. Matches very well against the red on the car. Obviously, I have more photos listed right behind this. They'll play in a moment, but just wanted to give you all a quick look around. So I'm well aware that the lighting in this video is pretty horrible. I was just trying to get this video out as soon as possible, but I can assure you in person, these seats look amazing as well. I mean, they're Nismo branded. They look like they were in the car, or they should have been in the car from factory, and they hold you in really well. I mean, overall, couldn't have been happier. Anyways, like I said in the previous clip, it's kind of hard to get great photos of these seats. At least it is for me, since I'm not a professional. The windshield's in the way and there's not much space once the door is open. This is just a little slideshow of some of the photos I have taken. They don't look great, like I said, because in order to fit them in the photo, you have to use the wide angle, which of course reduces the focus. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope it was informative for anyone interested in this project. Like I said at the start of the video, this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time now, probably 2 years or so. I make a good bit of tutorials on this channel, but I really mostly just follow other people's videos most of the time. I don't actually figure it all out by myself, and this is one of the first projects I actually had to do that on. And while I did get a little bit of help from other people, I just can't believe I actually did it in the end, and so I would appreciate any support.